Okay, Cherie, we were talking about funding, and I definitely
Yes.
want to get back to that because you work with these court-appointed kids. How are the courts helping support the program?
They're not right now.
Okay.
So that's the next step. Again, with being a solo operations manager and everything else with this program, there's so many different levels and things that I have to do to run it. You probably would say, come on, Cherie, but it's really true that there are times where I just forget to even look when their fiscal budget's coming around because I'm so busy trying to keep everything intact that I don't address it enough with them. And so at this point, I just missed the fiscal cutoff year to even put something in writing for them. But we've serviced well over 400 kids from almost 400 kids from their program. But we've actually also received referrals, a minimum of 600 kids, almost 600 kids.
Wow.
So, but that's the next phase is, that's why I need the help and I need the money because I can't do everything like this, There's a lot of legwork that goes behind the scene than just the 1 month show or my 1 month program that everybody shows up and says, oh, this is a great program. Yeah, it's great, but there's a lot of legwork behind the scenes. So I am waiting for a response right now from Diversion Court for some type of funds to be had with that. And the following fiscal year, I'm going to be asking the Juvenile Courts, Division of Juvenile Justice, to fund us somehow, some way. That's what we need.
Yeah. Talk about your website numbers because, like I said, increased attention to the program. You were talking about taking this home. Talk about that.
Yes.
What are your desires there?
I was looking at the website. Again, I'm the one who does everything. But I looked at the website numbers, and we are receiving about 2,000 visits a month. But nobody's leaving any money. So we're receiving about 2,000 visits a month, and we received, as far as kids and parents going to the website and enrolling, just pre-registering for our program, well over 2,000 in the last 5 years. Over 2,000, and then also with that 2,000, 1,291 have actually stepped foot in our program. So, which is about a 63% of people coming who actually go to the website, sign your child up, and then show up. So it's pretty
Those are
significant.
good numbers.
Absolutely, considering the background that we deal with, some of the kids from the inner city, and then some of the word of mouth kids. But it's a pretty good number to say the least, because we're growing so rapidly, and the people who just visiting, and I think a lot of it has to do with, as far as the visits and how much we're getting and the influx. It's twofold, media coverage and word of mouth, and then some of the court referrals as well. But we continue to try and push the program more so, not just here, but out of state as well.
So what are some of those locales?
Well, right now who we have, I'm going to El Paso, Texas in September 12th to be exact.
Okay.
I was invited to come out there and share the program with some of the juvenile courts there, and also with the House of Representatives, one of the representatives from the House of Representatives, and the Commissioner's office is down there. They want to hear more about the program. I have a potential member who wants to start out there. So he's done a lot of the legwork for us, and I'm going to basically share what we do and see if we can start some traction there. And if they like it, the goal is to open up one in El Paso.
Okay.
So I'll get more information. We have a lot of people already who want to be involved with the program in El Paso. So a lot of legwork has already started.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just have to get out there, present it. If there's some buy-in, then we go from there and we keep the ball moving.
And ultimately, you want to take this back to your hometown?
Absolutely, yes.
And that's Carson?
Yes, Carson, California. There is definitely a need there. It's really sad. It's still still a lot of crime out there and deaths related to the gang violence. That's my next phase. The second step is going to Louisville, Kentucky. So I'll be out there in October 25th to be exact, and presenting at a seminar, which they call their Community Shield. And their focus this year is on juvenile crime and also the crime rates within that Louisville area. Mm-hmm. And this is their 8th annual, I believe, seminar that they're hosting, and I was invited to come down there and share the program. So after that, if these things start flying the right way, my plan is to go back home to Carson. That's the next stop. So all of you Carson people, look me up, please.
Okay, talk about your members.
Yes.
You know, they're some of my favorites, really.
Yes, mine too. I love to hate them sometimes.
Integral part of the program,
Yes.
their interaction with the kids and
Yes.
parents. Talk about that interaction. I mean, what, from your interpretation, what's their function and purpose with the program, within the program?
Sure. You know, I love them. They're really, you know, their heart is in the right place. They really give sound advice, not only to the kids but to the parents. And you know, you give them a platform of change, and they feel great about themselves. And you know, please, I don't take anything away from the victims of crime, because I'm a believer that victims of crimes, I understand some of these ladies and gentlemen have done some horrific things, but they also are trying to make amends with the community. So please don't misinterpret me giving all the credit to these folks who've been in custody. That's not the whole point. The idea is we're trying now to circumvent them from getting back into the system and reinventing a new crime or starting a new crime. So it goes hand in hand. So all of you people who've been victimized, please understand that. I just had to get that waiver out there. So
now, with the growth of the program, though, you have a need for more members.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And you know, I'm always open to any of the members who refer other members to me. And generally speaking, I'm not in the system anymore. I mean, I'm not. I'm a retired federal probation officer, so I don't have access to these folks who have been through the system. So I depend on them to seek out members for me, because they already know what we need. They know what we're looking for. And some of my members, I have 2 that have been with me over 4.5 years. And then I have another 3 or 4 that have been with me over 3 years. So they get it. They're vested. They want to be a part of this program. And every new member or member in general, and this is how, you know, we make sure that people understand that these guys aren't getting anything from it. I don't do any letters of recommendation. I don't go to any court appearances for them to get off a termination or get terminated from supervision early from any state or federal. It's all because they want to give back to the community. And they also are obligated every January to donate $50 to the program to be a part of the program.
So who will qualify to be a member of the Real Talk program if they choose to be?
Any person that has actually been through the criminal justice system, be it even jails. If they've been arrested 2 or 3 times and they've done jail time, anybody that's stepped over the line of committing a crime and they have a track record, we will take them, because it's all about, we try to teach the kids it's all about choices. Even if it's a DUI, even, you know, it can be minor, if you will, crimes, but it's something that we can share with the kids, because minor leads to big.
Right.
Minor leads to major. And so we want to make certain that we instill in these children, one mistake can change your life. You know, one choice, you're one step away from having your whole trajectory of your life change. And that's the whole point of the program. You know, from my background and seeing my brothers through the system, and then also working in the system, it doesn't take very much to change the trajectory of which direction you're going to head. And that's totally up to that individual. But as someone had said, Mr. Rahilio, he uses this phrase pretty much. He said, "We give you the cheat sheet." That's one of my members. It's like giving you a cheat sheet. We're telling you what happens when you do this, so you don't have to go through it.
Right.
But sometime, and Ms. Desiree will say, you know, we've already taken the test for you and failed, so we're giving you the answer to the test.
You have the answer key. What are you going to do?
I mean,
with it?
how much more common? How much more common can that be?
Sure.
You know, to explain to the kids, this is what would happen if you do this.
And your desire is to make the program more interactive for the kids.
Yes.
How are you changing that, or what do you think that's going to look like?
You know, we need more members, and obviously we need more funding. But the whole idea is I'm a big believer that kids need to be heard. We as parents will tell the child, yes you can, no you can't, and this is why you can't. School teachers tell them this is what you need to do. Everybody is telling the child which direction to go, but they have something that they want to say. I remember growing up, you know, we would ask I said to this day, I would ask my mom, and I love my mom to death, how come I can't do this, or how come this, or how come that? Because I said so, and don't ask again.
Well, we've all heard that.
Yes. But all I wanted was just an explanation as to, but why? You know, I'm a why person. Why? So I always said, if I ever had children, I would tell them no, but I would explain why.
Well, and I think that sparks curiosity
Of course.
unnecessarily if you're
Yes.
not prepared to give them that answer
No.
of why or why not.
Absolutely. And
So they're going to go out and they're going to seek answers, and
Yeah.
they may not always engage in the right
Absolutely.
activities to get those answers.
Curious cat, you know. So what I want to do as we grow, because we will need more members, because right now I have about 20 that are on my roster, and I have about 15 of them that are really active. You know, work calls and life calls, and there's just certain things that sometimes that they can't show up, which I get. But in order for me to do the other portion of the program that I envision, I need more members. And that is getting back to, I believe the kids should have a voice. I want the kids to be able to talk to my members in a separate group. And then now it's members and my children and a therapist in the midst. And so this is the start of what we're doing to move on from that, once we get to that point. Every month we have these kids fill out our 3x5 cards.
And I've been
And-
reading over some of these questions, and your members, and I've listened to them rattle off these answers, and they're not rattling off the answers, but they're just very eloquent
Yes.
in the way they're interpreting this, and it's from a place
Right.
in here
Right.
and from experience. And so I think when these kids go in front of counselors who have not been able to step into their shoes, they
Yes.
haven't seen the things that they've seen, it's really hard to relate to them.
Of course,
But
yes.
that's not the case with your members,
Sure.
because they have all of these varied backgrounds
Absolutely.
that they bring to the program.
Yes.
One of the questions here, what was the purpose for the Real Talk Youth Impact Program to start?
Yes, and these cards, what we get every month, we take one. The cards are told. The kids are told, look, whatever's on your mind, whatever's on your heart, you have any questions for us, put it on here. And so what happens is my members, they overlook these cards, and then each one of them picks one to address. So because we want to make sure the kids understand that we want to hear your voice. So you put something here, and then we will respond to it as much as we can. Of course, we can't get to 100 cards a night because
Oh, sure.
we have 3 speakers to go, and then we have the guest closing speakers. So we try to address as many of these as we can, and with like a 2-minute commercial, because we can't have them all going on for 5 minutes, and then the kids get bored and a whole bit. But take one of these and share it.
Right.
And then that way that child understands that we recognize, we understand you might have some questions, you might have some issues. And they come up with some really, really good questions.
They do. They absolutely
and they
do.
want to know, and they're hungry, and they're yearning.
Yeah.
And,
What is this about? What will I learn in Real Talk? How does it work? What are some of the activities? They're all very, very curious.
Yes, absolutely.
And eager to learn more about what they're experiencing.
Exactly. And some of the times, there was one question that one of the kids put, and they're all anonymous. One of the kids put on there, what do you do when your parents are doing illegal stuff and it's not right and you're trying to stop from doing illegal things, but they continue to do it? And so one of our members picked that question and had to address it. And then the other one, just this past Tuesday, one of the kids put on his cards, this is just a waste of time. And so Mr. Ray got that card, and he eloquently responded, and it made all those kids remind themselves of, you know what, he's here, no payment, he's done 20 years in the penitentiary, he's trying to give back to you to save your life, and you think it's a waste of time, and it's all free. So he broke it down to where the kids he drew the kids in and shared, do you still think it's a waste of time? And so those are the type, and we get negative ones, and then we get some real positive ones that want to really know, how do I stop using drugs? So, and the beauty of it, it's anonymous, so they can put whatever they want on there.
Well, you're using your members now kind of outside of the program. They're not just addressing the kids.
Yes.
How are they assisting you in other capacities?
There's, a lot of them, they're doing well. I mean, Eric, one of our members, Mr. Eric, he owns his own distributing company, and he donates chips to our program every month. Mr. Ray he's an author, he's a book, he's an author. He donates his books to the kids. Mr. Gordon donates his books to the kids. And any capacity they can help, they're all hands in. If we have a fundraiser, they're going to be a part of it. And they sign a commitment for at least 1 year with the program. So after that, if you have to leave, you have to leave. But we keep them. I don't ask to keep them. They stick around, and this is great. And I think a lot of it, they feel good about it, and it helps them stay on track and keeps a perspective of, I'm talking to these kids, and I can change their trajectory if I say or do things the wrong way. And so sometimes these kids even see them on the streets somewhere, and they say, "Hey, Mr. Rogelio, hey, Mr. Gordon." So I try to remind them, look, you're on a different platform. These kids are now listening to you in a positive way, not in a negative way.
What are some of your other external needs for the program aside from funding?
Physical help, volunteers to be a part of keeping up with the program. Marketing, we need some marketing folks. We need people who are skilled, any skills that can help us move the program along, be it computer skills, donated computers. The main ultimate thing is money, because I need to have full-time staff, because like I said, no one gets paid, and in order for it to effectively, and for me to grow the way I'd like for it to grow, I need to be able to focus on the growth and not the mundane everyday work with keeping the paperwork and things like that. So there's a lot to be had still. There's so many more things and programs I'm going to be putting together with this program.
Well, and speaking of that, talk about the career mentoring that you're thinking about.
The career
launching.
mentoring with Omega Psi-Phi, they're a very big part of this. We started, together. I still have the manual. I'm working on it, and it's almost done. So the idea was to get that going by the end of, have it done by the end of this year, and hopes to get it started at the beginning of next year.
And what will that encompass?
You and I, college graduates, and there's a lot of graduates out there that actually are not working in the field that they're in. So my goal is to start some traction with these kids ages 13 and 18. And to find out where their head is and what they want to do with their life. So it's actually going to be a mentoring program they have to sign up for, apply, and interview. And so we want those kids who are serious about it. They have to go through my program first and then sign up for this. It's a year-long program. So when new people or college graduates come in and they, oh yeah, I want to be that probation officer, I want to work with kids, and they go through all of this until their senior year, and now they do the internship. Now they haven't really been working with kids, they just know this is what they want to do. So they get there, then they go to their internship at the detention center. Then they see all the drama that the kids are dealing with and what the kids give out.
I see.
So they get there and they say, oh my gosh, I don't think I want to do this. This is not what I thought it was going to be. But you're graduating in less than 12 weeks. So what happens now? They graduate, and then they don't like what they're doing, but they have a degree in criminal justice to be that probation officer. So then they end up going elsewhere, working somewhere else without kids with a degree. So my goal is to circumvent that. I want to get the kids started now. Think about what you want to do. Then I'm going to place you with Miss Melissa, who has a communications degree. Or I'm going to place you with Mr. John, who owns his own firm. I want to place you with Mr. Eric, who has his own distributing company. I want to place you in those sectors where you now experience some of it, and then you might not like it. And then so we knock that out the box right now for you.
And you're putting some pretty significant guest speakers as well in front of the kids.
Yes.
Talk about some of the walks of life of the guest speakers.
Yes, we've had some really, really great speakers. We've had a couple of judges, Judge Navarro, Chief Judge Navarro of the federal courts, Judge Boulware. We've had an anesthesiologist come out and speak to the kids about how he evolved, and he was from the West Side, and it was great. I didn't know his story. I met him while we were doing a fundraiser with the fireworks stand. So he donated $500 after that program. He was so impressed with the program, so we were so grateful. Matt Maddox, who was the CEO or president of the WIN, he donated $20,000 of his personal funds to the Real Talk program, restricted funds for the kids' activities. We've had people who've retired from the Air Force. We've had attorneys. We've had public defenders, dentists, business owners, life insurance agents. So there's been just a whole different variety of people from all different professions that come in, because I have to remember not all these kids are going to college.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I want to make sure that I encompass the different avenues of professionalism or professionals, and we had a welder come in, a good friend of mine, and he came in and spoke to the kids. He has his own Vinny's metal fabrication. So we have a different I try to get as many people from different sectors, law enforcement as well, but and then also athletes, retired athletes
Sure.
that come in. So trying to expose them to anything and everything, because again, that word, I'm trying, those two words, taking excuses away.
Right.
Or 3 words rather, taking those excuses away. That's the main thing. And then also just being able to use what we have here and allow it to replicate across the nation, because it's, and I keep telling people, it's not because it's my program, it's because the program is needed across the nation.
Do you have any events that are in the wings? Anything pending for the program?
No, not at this point. Beside the monthly show that we have, or the monthly Real Talk program, which is the first Tuesday of the month. We don't have funds to do a gala or anything like that. So we're just trying to continue to push the program, invite people. We just had Channel 3 News, which I think they were supposed to air something today. They were at the program on Tuesday and did a story on our program. So the more coverage we get, I'm assuming the more monies that will be flowing in. But at the end of the day, money or not, I'm heading across state lines.
Well, hopefully you'll have more than enough help
I sure hope so.
at that point. But as fast as things are growing,
Oh my gosh.
oh my goodness.
I'm trying to keep up with everything.
You'll see yourself coming and going. You'll be saying hello to yourself as you're
Yes.
going across state
I
lines.
will
So-
truly be in Blacknedo.
Well, Cherie, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you,
in and
Melissa.
giving us those updates. We look forward to
Absolutely.
having you back.
Yes.
Maybe in another month, just to see where you're at statistically
Yes.
with the numbers of the kids and how things are progressing.
Thank you. I will look forward to it.
You're welcome.
All right.
Hopefully we got everything in there.
I'm thinking so. What is this dude? Yeah, he's pastor in Las Vegas workman. Child listening.